need everyone jumping in the video. Alright, so we're just going to talk about how you implemented the strategy and how it went for you, how did it go for the kids, and moving forward, do you see it as being helpful for, the goal that we discussed a couple weeks ago, and then what we need to do to revise it to help, make sure it's going with that goal. So just to review, the goal was to limit transition times, was to limit the transition times in the class, and we talked about that last week. I showed you the strategy of the It's Learning page and having everything dated, having the title of it dated so the kids know exactly, okay, if they see a date, they go right to it, and everything is on that one page broken down for them. And then you said you did implement that the next day. So how did that go?
It was great.
It was great? You liked it?
I did.
What about it did you like?
I liked, so Tuesday I explained to them I had like an outline, and I said, this is what's going to happen. You're going to come in Thursday, you're going to get graded on the opener, all that kind of stuff. You have 15 minutes to complete it. So, Tuesday there was no time frame or anything like that. There wasn't a grade, it was just
practice. Getting them used to it.
And then Thursday, as they walked in, I said, okay, go ahead and get to that opener. Don't forget your opener. Get to the opener. Don't forget your opener. And several of them answered, and they were, quite happy that they got the answer. It was a picture. And several of them didn't. And when they realized, because during class they had an assignment they were working on, so I went ahead and put the grades in Infinite Campus. And when they realized that they missed those points, they were very upset. And I said, you have a chance tomorrow. And Friday they came in, and I think everybody.
Okay.
And
so they got right on. So it took a minute
took
for
one
a couple.
day for them
and
to
they're
go.
like, they realized, okay, this is real. This is a real thing that's happening.
I think for the first, at least until Christmas break, I'll have to enter their grades. Have an activity where they're doing something, and I can go ahead and quickly add in their grades in Infinite Campus, because they notice right away.
Yeah, it gets sent to their phones. They can feel it buzz. It'll get sent to their watches.
Yeah.
They'll see the notification if they're open on Infinite Campus. The notification will pop up on their laptops. So they'll see that right away.
That was great, because then they were like, all right, thanks, Ms. Brooks, because I made the first two worth 100 points. You did have to get it correct to get the 100. If you just answered and you didn't get it correct, you got like 95 or 90, depending on how correct you were. I wasn't very, but if you didn't do it at all, you got a 0.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
The lowest you could get was an 80, which is still, I thought it was pretty fair.
Yeah, yeah. So
because it's stuff that we've seen before. Both openers were pictures of things that we had seen the day before, or the class period before.
Yeah, that's how I do mine too. I have mine as questions.
So it wasn't, out of the blue, or they had to think about it or anything like that. So I felt, 80 was, if you
pretty fair.
Yeah. I felt like that was a fair assessment for their knowledge.
So it helped them get, realize that time is a thing. In the room.
And I made them, after they finished their opener, I put in a task in that they had to come to my desk and get highlighters and the passage that we were going to go over. And I said, make sure you go on to number 2. And they did, some of them did and realized and went and got the stuff, and the other ones didn't. And so, but by Friday, when they came in, they were looking for...
You little stragglers.
Yeah, they were looking for the next thing to do. So it was helpful to have...
it also eliminates those, Miss, what do I do now? I finished. What do I do now? Well, it's right there for you. Another good thing is, another side note for the grading, when you were entering it every day, you could also, when they get used to it, you notice that more and more students are realizing that this is what we're doing now, and this is what we're doing in class, and this is what is expected of me. Sporadically grade it.
Yeah, I think I'll have to start that since we're going into break, and then I think I'll have to start.
But do it differently for each class. So maybe A1 you grade it, but don't do it for A3. So, they talk. The kids talk. They tell your friends. They're like, oh, we're doing this in class. We're doing that in class. I mean, I have kids that I've taught 2 years ago coming up to me saying, I heard there's food in your room today. What? School just started 5 minutes ago. What are you doing?
Only if you bring it. That's how the food gets there.
So how are the students taking it? So what's their reaction? What's their feedback?
The ones that got right on it, they love it.
They love it. Okay.
And they love, getting that easy 100.
Mhm.
The stragglers at first were upset,
Mhm.
but they got on board with it on Friday.
Okay.
They didn't say,
They didn't. So
they didn't say, none of them said it was unfair.
Okay. So positive feedback.
They all knew that it was fair. I thought for sure I'd have some going, you didn't tell us, you didn't,
Okay. So positive
which is,
feedback for the students.
There's usually a few, like, I don't know.
And eventually, the stragglers, they realize that there's a purpose to it. And when they realize there's a purpose and they realize that why piece that we talked about, like, they're like, oh, okay. And it clicks for
Yeah.
them eventually. Do you think that there are any adaptations that need to be made to the process? Any changes to the checklist of what to put on there? I know you added the task of, if you have to come up and get
Right,
something.
yeah.
But do you think there's anything else that may need to be put into the process? Maybe put into one of those checklists we made, maybe added to the page or something?
The only thing that I had trouble with, it was passage and then you answer questions, and some of them couldn't open it.
Okay.
Like half the class couldn't open it,
So-
and I couldn't figure out why they couldn't open it, because other kids had no problem
Yeah.
being able to.
So just some
So
technology.
I don't know if it's like, maybe they weren't on Chrome, I don't know if that was the difference.
Yeah, there's some.
So I just
some,
gave them, I had paper,
Yeah.
and I gave them
Okay.
paper,
It,
and the
it
others
might
submitted it
it
online.
might be that they were not on Chrome, because on SchoolNet when you're taking a test, the pictures won't pop up unless you're on Chrome. If you're on Explorer, the pictures won't pop up at all, like the maps and stuff that we added to the test. They won't pop
That's
up.
a good thing. I
Yeah.
should just go ahead and tell them to hop
Yeah.
on Chrome.
I just say if I walk by and they say how do I do this and they're not on Chrome, I call them old. I say
Okay.
get on.
Well, I
So
didn't
the-
want to take time away from class to
Yeah.
go back and, look and reload and, try it again, that kind of stuff. I
Yeah.
don't like doing that, and especially with those classes.
Yeah, no, I get. Yeah, I would have definitely had paper
As
too and
as soon as I
passage
go
paper.
to the desk to do anything, then they're like, all over the
Yeah.
place. If I'm not roaming around in the middle of them or sitting with them,
Yeah.
they're all over the place. So I don't want to, I have paper.
Yeah, that's how I would have done that too, and then
Here's highlighters, you're
Yeah.
gonna highlight here,
that's what I did too when I did my
so
little
that's
highlighting
the-
activity.
That's
I
the
had paper
only
too.
glitch I ran into,
Okay,
but I think it might be probably because they
Yeah.
weren't in.
so just the technology, but
Mhm.
other than the technology problem, everything else went smoothly with it.
Yes,
Are you still using it?
yes, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm only using it for B3 and B4.
Okay,
They're the only ones I do that with.
okay.
The other classes really don't need it.
They don't need. Okay, that works. So is the strategy of that It's Learning page, is that cutting down the transition time?
Yes.
It is with those classes. And I know those two classes especially, they were all, wanted to do
Yes.
this and want to do that and
And
want to go
I
over
put
here.
deadlines on everything. It doesn't matter. I put a deadline on it. It doesn't matter if it's.
So it's cutting. Okay, cool,
Turn it-
good. That
they're
was
gonna
our
turn it
goal.
on or not.
That was
They're
our
gonna turn
goal.
it in. I still put a deadline on it. Why is there a deadline on it? I'm like, I'll open it back
They
up
gotta
and start
work-
for you to study for
They
the
have
test.
to work on time management. They have to work on time management. You're helping them with that skill, because that's a skill that they need, not just school or if they want to go to college. I mean, that's
Yeah.
life. You go to the Army, you have a limited time to pull apart your gun and put it back together.
Somebody's
Somebody-
standing over you.
Somebody,
Yeah.
time is not something that can just get away from you. They need to realize that, and I feel like this strategy is helping with that, and I'm glad it's helping them.
Yeah, and
cut
they're
down.
a really small class, so it's
Mhm.
easy for me to, I can kind of stand in the back and see everybody's computer at the same
Mhm.
time and see, okay, they're all, they're
Yeah.
all pushing 4, all right, good,
Yeah.
It's not like I have a class of 25 and I really have to,
Which is what my
you
next
know,
class is.
take a look at all of them, you know, as soon as I walk away, they've clicked back on something else. So it's worked out great for them, and they seem so far
How is it
to
working
enjoy it.
on their behavior? Have you seen a difference in behavior since implementing this, or are their behavior just the same?
I think their behavior is the same. I do still have the naysayers and
Mhm.
the just not gonna do it.
Mhm.
But that I think will just come
Yeah.
with time. But at least they recognize that they've got to get
Yeah.
going and make complaint.
I'm glad that it's helping you with that. I'm really glad it's helping.
Complain all you want, just do your work. Give me something to assess, please.